What is the latest research and prevailing thoughts on dissociative identity disorder? Well, dissociative identity disorder, or DID, is a very complex mental health condition where a person has multiple separate identities which take turns to control their behavior at different times. So, of course, this detrimentally affects somebody's ability to connect with reality, since each of these alternative conscious states, called alters, have their own unique names, personal history, memories, moods, traits, preferences, and likes and dislikes. So, for this reason, the condition was formerly known as multiple personality disorder, but that changed a long time ago, even though people still sometimes call it that, but it hasn't been called that for 28 years. It was changed in 1994. Because contrary to what people may believe, DID isn't actually a personality disorder, it's a dissociative disorder, which is entirely different. With DID, there are fragmented personalities which temporarily, yet thoroughly, take control of a person's identity. The latest research indicates that these personalities, which are completely at odds with the person's true self, are triggered by certain stressors, and they manifest then from time to time. When an alter takes control, called fronting, sufferers do passively maintain something of their host personality and continue to respond to their given name, for example, even though the alter may have a different name, but it will still respond to the host name. But there's a strong possibility that the host or another alter won't actually remember that period of time when that particular alter has been fronting. There are still no medications prescribed to treat DID in and of itself. Of course, there are medications around different elements associated with DID, like anxiety and so forth, and depression. And psychologists have to treat every case on its own merits. Obviously, this is a very, very simplified explanation as to what DID is and the current research on it, but it gives you an idea. I think if you want to learn more about DID from a first-hand perspective, there's an excellent account on TikTok called Hazy and Slightly Daisy that you might want to follow. The owner of that account, Natasha, has DID, and she explains what it's like to live with it extremely well. And there are many of her alters which also post videos. So it's worth going over to understand DID and what it's like to live with a little bit more.